Hey, Wesselmose with the $22 donation. 12 more for Jundrev and 10 to Chad. Thank you very much for the support. I appreciate it. I'll get those bumped up there. This hand really doesn't do anything, right? We don't have any lootings. We don't have any Griselbrands. We have mana, but it doesn't draw any cards, so pretty easy mulligan. This hand needs a way to get Griselbrand into the bin, but once we find that, it's going to be quite excellent. Hey, Craterdom, happy 2 months. I had to wait for Griselbrand today because it's my favorite way to be degenerate in Modern. Thanks for the continued support, Craterdom. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Welcome back. Am I feeling a Legacy Day tomorrow? I might... Because tomorrow is a 12-hour stream, I might mix formats a little bit. We might not do all Modern, I'll have to see. JMP's push Strawberry Shortcake. Yeah, there's 300 more. I might... JMP's push Shortcake up enough that I think I'm going to do Shortcake to close out tomorrow, probably. So we'll probably do all Modern through the day and in the afternoon, and then we'll close with Legacy in the evening. This matchup might actually be kind of hard because they can Angel's Grace to not die, right? They can Angel's Grace to not die the turn we try and kill them. Even better to close with it. I have to work to mine democracy for you. Perfect. Yeah, I think I'm going to go ahead. I'm just going to say that now. We're going to close with Shortcake tomorrow night, JMP. So we're going to do Modern throughout the day, and then I'll close out with that one. Yeah, that's true. We can just re-get them the next turn. Okay, yeah, so it's important that we do it during our end step to play around Angel's Grace. So, this is actually a way to get Griselbrand into the bin, except our opponent is likely playing Ad Nauseum, which means Lightning Axe isn't going to have a target, so we're going to bottom that. Yes, definitely, Stinger MTG. Drop me a line and let me know what you'd like it to be. I'll be happy to get that added. Gemstone. They could theoretically be Jeskai Ascendancy combo too, but more likely they're Ad Nauseum. Well, so the second Night's Whisper looks a little bit medium here, but actually drawing 2 cards twice allows us to put the Griselbrand into our discard pile by moving to hand size. So this is a pseudo discard outlet if we miss on another discard outlet, which we did not because I'm a goddamn professional. They suspended a Lotus Bloom there, which I missed apparently, so they are in fact playing Ad Nauseum. So we got 3 shots to draw a land, to loot the Griselbrand into the bin, and then floop the pig into play with the Goryo's Vengeance. Then we get to start drawing cards. Sure. Never didn't have it. And this little piggy went wee, wee, wee all the way home. Oh, jeez. Well, we're gonna Borby during the end step anyway, so I can go ahead and attack here. Yeah, we wait till end step to floop the Borby. We can go ahead and draw cards now during our main phase. And we want to attack with this, not only reduce their health total, but also to get 7 more cards out of it. Alright, so there's a worm. So now I want to go to my end step, right? So I want to go to my end step. And then I want to do all of this inside of my end step. Do I have any spirit guides in my hand yet? I don't. So I'll go cast this by exiling a green card. Exile the worm. So again, for those that missed it earlier, we're doing this inside of my end step. So that way, if they have Angel's Grace to not die to Borborygmos, Borborygmos lives through to my opponent's turn. And what living through to my opponent's turn does for us is it allows us to... what's the word I'm searching for? It allows us to keep the Borborygmos through their upkeep. So that way, we can kill them again on their upkeep, basically. So, I actually don't really need to do anything else here, right? I don't really want to draw more cards in case they have double Angel's Grace. So now... I'm gonna go ahead and cast this, place additional spells. We'll pitch this worm down here. Oh, that was the Nourishing Shoal I pitched. That was, can I undo that? Nope, apparently I can't. Glad we don't need that health. They don't have Angel's Grace here, they're just dead. Look at how angry he is. He's so mad. He's so mad. So mad. Oh, you can trigger Borb in response to... That's funny. Okay, and I can draw 14 more cards, so we're likely going to... And it looks like they don't have it, right? Because they're spoils of the vaulting. Yeah, get out of here. Get out of here. All right. Blood Moon's actually pretty good in this matchup, right? Blood Moon's actually pretty good in this matchup. Risky Bug, can you re-ping me wherever you messaged me the Enduring Ideal list that I said I would play? Was it a deck list that I said I would play? Re-message me wherever you sent that message at. Chalice is pretty good too, right? The problem is, like, is this becoming too interactive? Is this becoming too interactive? Like, do I want to slow down and play Blood Moon? I probably don't. I think Chalice is fine because Angel's Grace is really annoying, but Blood Moon's probably too slow. Chalice is probably too slow. Chalice on 0 is also okay. Yep. Nah, E for Disenchant is far too slow. We don't want to be that interactive. I think cutting a worm is fine. Need one more trim here. I'll trim a Desperate Ritual. Their deck's not that fast. Yep, I think Chalice is worthwhile because of stopping their cantrips and stuff, and on top of stopping Angel's Grace. This seems okay, like not super exciting, but fine. This, again, because we're on the draw, is actually a discard outlet. That is super annoying. Welp. Huh. I guess we have to kill him. Man, I really hope we find a Chalice of the Void. Man, I hope we find a Chalice of the Void. So everybody says. Things are not looking good for our hero, chat. Things are not looking good for our hero. File for comp because ley lines are bugged. I assume they're going to kill us next turn, so I'm just going to go ahead and fire this off and see what we get. No, they should have Laboratory Maniac in their deck post-board. Post-board, the opponent's deck should have Lab Man in it. Probably dead next turn. I guess Goryo's Vengeance and Attack with Borborygmos would be fine there. We ended up dying anyway, so it didn't matter. But yeah, you're right. I should have attacked with I should have Goryo's Vengeance with Borby, because we were gonna have to kill them over a series of turns anyways, and like it might help us hit land drops. Huh. So the fact that they have Leyline kind of makes me want to reassess this Blood Moon plan. I'm just gonna swap this actually and run it back. Yeah, I wasn't thinking about that. I'm only used to thinking about Goryo's Vengeance in the context of like this is lethal. So when it wasn't lethal, I was like, oh, I don't want to do this. But Chad is 10 out of 10 correct that I should have played that. I should have played the Goryo's Vengeance that turn. They don't always have Bloom though. Like, their best starts involve Bloom, but they don't always have it. It's a good pickup, especially since we already have the discard outlet. Probably go for the turn 4 kill here. We'll just Night's Whisper plus looting next turn most likely. Wall of Reach has been broken since January of 2016 on Magic Online. Hashtag never forget. Put my piggy into play. Draw some cards with my little pig. Hey, what's going on, Maddie? Long time no see. I feel like it's been a while, Matthew. That's not okay. You need to come over. So I can Shoal, Pitch Worm, Splice additional. Oh, this is terrible. I should have done this during my end step, right? So I fucked this up. Crap. I can make up for this, right? I can make up for this because I have Goryo's Vengeance and Manamorphose here. Yeah. All right. So I'm gonna Faithless Looting. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna ban a Collective. I guess I could cast Collective Brutality. No, I can't because I don't have black mana. I need the Manamorphose to do the other thing. All right, yeah. So I'm gonna bin these two, and then I'm just gonna go ahead. No, because I'll just cast it in response. So we got Borby in the bin. I'm gonna go ahead and move through that. So I missed sequence here. I was moving ahead just because like I forgot. I don't know where my headspace went, but I forgot that they're Angel's Grace deck, which means I have to go off during my end step. So now I'm gonna enter my end step, which is gonna trigger the Goryo's Vengeance trigger on here. I need the Manamorphose, chat, to cast Goryo's Vengeance during the end step here. I need the Manamorphose to Goryo's Vengeance. You need to wait until my end step, because this way, if they Angel's Grace to not die to Borborygmos, I will be able to have Borborygmos during their turn still. I guess they could have Pact of Negation here to get me to, huh? So now I'm going to try and kill them. Yeah, Borborygmos. So the way Goryo's Vengeance and Through the Breach read is they exile the creature at the beginning of the next end step. So if you put it into play during an end step, it stays in play until my opponent's end of turn, because I'm already in an end step for the turn. If they had a pack, they would have used it by now. You think so? Maybe I should have boarded in my own packs in this matchup. I don't actually know. Do they just have nothing? Does this card work? All right, so the way this works now, from my understanding, is that I can make them need to have 2 more copies of Angel's Grace, because the turn is over once I hit cleanup, right? So when I discard this worm during cleanup, I will be able to. Do I have 7 lands is the question. I'll make sure I have 7 lands here. Otherwise, I'm going to draw again. So when I discard the worm during cleanup, that's going to reset us, right? So I'm going to take a hit here. There is a cleanup phase when you put a trigger on the stack during the cleanup phase, Brad. So my worm is going to put a trigger on the stack. So normally there's not a cleanup phase. You can't do anything here. But there is a trigger that we get to respond to, which means this is special. Magic is intuitive and easy to understand. What are the odds this works on Magic Online? 0. Is that supposed to work? Are they supposed to have died there? Can I get a judge? Is that how that's supposed to work? Are they supposed to die when I activate that there? Is that how Magic is supposed to work? The following actions happen simultaneously. All damage marked on permanents, including phases, is removed, and all until end of turn and end of turn effects end. That's from when the cleanup phase starts. They definitely should have died. Yes, sweet. All right, Magic Online's bugged. Good. God bless us. That makes sense to me. Yep. They should have died. God bless. All right, sweet. Good to know. Good to know. What's the official ruling? I'm gonna need to talk to an actual judge. An actual, I just, like, an L2 or an L3 judge. I would need like a, that needs to be like a head judge type ruling for. If you put, so for those of you just joining us, the question is, if you put a trigger on the stack during the cleanup phase on a turn which your opponent cast Angel's Grace, does Angel's Grace should wear off during the cleanup phase, so going back to another end step should end. Well, it doesn't go back. It doesn't go back to your end step. You're still in the cleanup phase. The end of turn things are going to end, then the triggers will happen. Alright, this hand's okay. It needs a Griselbrand. I guess it needs a... I think this is a keep. They should die. Second, the following happens simultaneously. So what I'm understanding is my understanding is that they should have died and Magic Online was bugged. That's what I'm taking away. See, this is what I'm saying. Half the people are like they should have died. The other half of the people are like, nah, Hogland, it's fine. And I don't know who to believe, chat. I don't know who to believe. Somebody just tell me what I'm supposed to believe, please. Please, somebody tell me. Have you heard about my worm? I said a worm. What worm's a worm? I said a worm. What question do I have? Well, we have a few L2s in chat, and they seem to be disagreeing. So, Zach, the issue was if you trigger Worldspine Wurm during the end step on a turn in which your opponent cast Angel's Grace, is Angel's Grace effect still in effect during the cleanup phase where you can respond to Worldspine Wurm's triggers? Or can I kill them during my cleanup phase because the cleanup phase causes things that end at end of turn to wear off? This matchup's very good for us. Not only is our combo faster than theirs, but we have 3 Blood Moons in our board. I didn't have black mana to cast Collective Brutality. Then after discard damage and end of turn effects are removed, then it happens. It doesn't, well, for what you just described, it does work. From what you just described, it does work. So yes, the cleanup step priority. Yeah, look, Zach says it works. All right. It doesn't surprise me that Magic Online gets this wrong if that's the ruling. Just for reference, that Magic Online gets it wrong doesn't surprise me. Splice onto Arcane Tribal has a lot of weird things going on, so the fact that Magic Online messes some of them up shouldn't be surprising to anyone. All right, I'm gonna lead on Bloodstained Go here. The fact that they have Relic makes the Faithless Looting worse. I might just bin this Faithless Looting to Cathartic Reunion. Look, all I'm gonna say is that regardless of how this works, Magic is intuitive and easy to understand. Hey, look, there's the Through the Breach I was waiting to draw. So this is actually kind of interesting. So I can Nourishing Shoal, pitch Manamorphose, and then splice Through the Breach with a 4th mana. So do I want a Cathartic Reunion and bin these two? To like try and find a piece of fast mana for next turn? Do I... Or I could just Faithless Looting, looking for fast mana. Faithless Looting's probably better, right? Because then I get to guaranteed keep this land. Faithless Looting's probably better. And I'm actually just gonna bin this other worm here, since I have... Oh, I can bin Manamorphose actually, right? Because gaining 15 is good. Yeah, I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna bin those two and pass the turn. And then we'll have a turn 4, gain 11, put a worm into play. We see one more card with Reunion, but like on the off chance they might pop this Relic here. On the off chance we miss on a land drop, discarding the land Reunion feels really bad. I agree, Zach. Judges are humans. Magic, my Magic is intuitive to easy understand is intended to be satire. In case you didn't grab that, chat. Magic is not intuitive. It's not easy to understand. There's a lot of really small, complex interactions like that. And that, did you see that interaction there where Moto was bugged and everyone was going back and forth about what could possibly be right? That is why Arena will not have Modern. That is why Arena will not have Legacy, because those types of interactions, they have no desire to program. Zero desire to program. Oh, I should have flashed back the looting out of the bin there. The reason why I didn't flash back the looting in my bin and I cast the new one in my hand is because we were talking about Magic and I wasn't paying attention. So 10 out of 10, should have cracked this fetch and played the looting out of the bin there. All right, so again, what we're gonna do here is this is splice onto Arcane Tribal, like we said. So we're gonna pitch this Worldspine Wurm, splice this Through the Breach onto the Nourishing Shoal, and then we'll floop this other little piggy into play, and we'll hit him for a good clean 15. Thanks for doing 5 to yourself, opponent. I appreciate you. Nice relic of Progenitus. Get him, run him down. Gonna get you. Welcome to everybody who's hanging out here today. I do appreciate it. We are 2-0 with the Goryo's Vengeance deck. Thank you. Ooh, that's the wrong plug page. My name is Jeff Hoagland. I'm a full-time streamer and content producer here on Twitch. If you're enjoying my content, please consider subscribing to my channel. My subscribers are what keep me here full-time. You can also support my stuff by supporting my sponsors. mtgotraders.com will have to buy and sell some Magic Online cards with you, and if you use code Hoagland PayPal at checkout with them, you'll save 8% on your singles orders there. CoolStuffInc.com buys and sells a lot of cool stuff, including TCG singles. Using promo code Jeff5, you can save 5% on Magic, Pokemon, and Yu-Gi-Oh cards with them. And Mack Weldon, they provide premium men's clothing. Using code Jeff Hoagland at bit.ly/HoogleClothes, you can save 20% on your first order of premium t-shirts, polos, underwear, shorts, all sorts of stuff there. At any rate, we're heading on into our third match here with Grishoalbrand for the afternoon. This is going to be our last Modern League of the afternoon before we pivot over to playing some Hearthstone. Are you being held hostage? I am. I am in my basement against my will. This hand has some potential. It's got a discard outlet. It's got a land. It's got big old piggy. It's got a Nourishing Shoal and some Worldspine Wurms. Tron. Let me tell you, Grishoalbrand is like the inverse of every deck I love playing in Modern. And what I mean by that is most of the decks I love playing in Modern, they have unwinnable Tron and Valakut matchups. Grishoalbrand, however, has very good Valakut and Tron matchups. And I'm talking superb Valakut and Tron matchups. All right, do I need this Desperate Ritual to go off, or do I discard the extra worm? The worm's gonna shuffle, right? So that's probably what I want to do. We did brick on a second land and a Goryo's Vengeance, so that does feel kind of bad. If we don't hit Goryo's Vengeance or a land next turn, we're gonna have to pitch Spirit Guide to play Night's Whisper. I would be genuinely very surprised if Arena was ever going to have these older non-rotating formats. They hit the Tron button but forgot to check the cards in the deck you were playing, right? All right, so I'm gonna bottom that, and I'm gonna go ahead and pitch Spirit Guide and Night's Whisper here, just to like use this Blood Crypt. We just need to dig for Goryo's Vengeance at this point. Oh no, this matchup's actually much harder for us. Blue Tron can actually interact with what we have going on. All right, we're flailing around a little bit here. I don't want to cast Cathartic Reunion against counter spells. Probably don't need this Desperate Ritual. Well, this is the thing, chat. Sometimes your 4 of is not in the top third of your deck. We're 18 cards in here and haven't found a Goryo's Vengeance yet. I 100% believe that we are due for a new non-rotating format, and I think Arena will definitely be the catalyst for a new non-rotating format to exist. You can't dust your cards in Arena. You can't trade your cards in for other things. They have to give people that are playing Arena and putting money into Arena something to do with their cards when they rotate out of Standard in the fall. So Arena will definitely have a new non-rotating format. Will it be interesting? Will it be sweet? I don't know. But as someone who primarily plays non-rotating formats in Magic, I'm excited to take a crack at a new one. I enjoy looking for complex and interesting interactions in a deep card pool. Alrighty, just gonna keep on looting. Keep on looting. So I actually think I want to keep this Griselbrand in my hand, right? Because if I keep Griselbrand in my hand, I can draw through the breach. And we haven't drawn through the breach or Goryo's Vengeance in 21 cards now. Hearthstone does have Wild and no one plays it. That is correct. This is actually kind of scary because it gives them a second blue source here. That's it through the breach. If Wizards backs a new non-rotating format, can they raise the power level of Modern? Maybe. The more likely answer is they'll just leave Modern to rot, like they've left Legacy to rot. But, you know, if you're an optimist, sure. Part of me hopes they'll backcode some sets into Arena. Like, I think a new non-rotating set starting with, like, Origins could be sweet. Like, just skip the fetch lands, because fetch lands are horseshit. But, like, Origins gives us the sweet flip planeswalkers, which is nice. I think we're gonna die, chat. Okay, basic, I'm just gonna take your little logic there and take a shit on it. If Wizards of the Coast had any interest in supporting Legacy as a format, it would be affordable and well supported in the one place that doesn't have the reserve list holding you back. And now I'll direct your screen to the $100 True Name Nemesises on Magic Online and ask you, really? You think the reserve list is what makes Wizards not support this format? It's not. It's really not. All right, so what am I doing here? Do I want to just slam this? Probably. I think I'm just hoping they only have one counter spell, right? So if I do this and they counter this, I can go Shoal, Wurm, Splice through the breach and breach the one from my hand. Yeah, because this makes them tap down to 1 mana for commit. Okay, yep, that's interesting. Neat. All right, so I'm going to move to my main phase so their floating mana goes away here. So this way, they'd have to have something like Spell Pierce. I just don't want to take this hit from Worm Coil, so I'm going to try and go off here, is what it comes down to. It does suck a little bit because I've already burned through some of my fast mana, so I'm going to have a hard time going off fully this turn. I don't like fetches because fetches are effectively loading screens while you're playing Magic the Gathering. How many Spirit Guides am I through? Am I through too many of them? I think I might be through too many of them. I've binned 2 Rituals and 1 Spirit Guide. If I pinned another one over here, I actually don't have enough. I actually don't have enough Spirit Guides to win the game, right? Because of the way I discarded them aggressively earlier, the way our hand lined up. I'm pretty sure we're dead here. Oh, I have 1 Spirit Guide, but I don't have a way to get... I haven't played a land, but I only have 2 mana effectively left this turn because I have played a land, and I don't have a way... I could set up double Goryo next turn, potentially. Yeah, I guess. I could just, like, buffer my health total a bunch. Oh, wait. Can we do the end step bin a worm trick here again? We can, right? Because I can bin the worm along with Borborygmos and then Goryo's Vengeance inside of the cleanup step. Yeah. Yeah, we can. Let's do it. This deck is gas. This deck is gasoline. Let's do it during the cleanup again. During the cleanup means I can't pitch this worm to the shoal, though. I can't pitch this worm to shoal, though. I do get to draw 14 cards. I need to draw my last Spirit Guide. We could theoretically brick on the last Spirit Guide here. There's going to be 6 cards left in my deck. Oh, there's the Spirit Guide. So we play the swamp, and now I can actually... All right, I'm going to give you a timeout, AK Cracker. If you use the term cancer in relation to a children's card game again, you'll receive a permanent ban on my channel. Just going to gain some health for good measure. Yep, yeah, so what we're going to do here is, this is similar to the trick we used in the last game. We're going to go ahead and discard down to Goryo's Vengeance plus a bunch of lands during our cleanup phase. And then because there's going to be a trigger from the worm during our cleanup phase, this will give us a chance to play spells during a phase where you normally can't play spells. So we're going to keep lands and Spirit Guide. Oh crap, though I don't have enough lands. Fucking A, I forgot to draw and I don't have enough lands. Do I seriously not have enough lands in my hand right now? Because of the way this game played out? Is that what's about to happen? Oh, I couldn't draw because they only have 6 cards. So we get to Manamorphose, right? We get to Manamorphose in response to trigger. The top card of my deck has to be a land. All right, so we'll stack these. I'm gonna pitch this Spirit Guide. We'll cast Manamorphose. All right, come on, hit me, dealer. Hit me, dealer. Let's go. Survey says, what a game of Magic the Gathering, chat. What quite excellent game of Magic the Gathering. Running them down. So lucky. Used every bit of the buffalo there. Every last little tidbit of the buffalo was employed. All right. What are we doing? Post board. Blood Moon's probably great. Pact is definitely great. Collective is definitely great. So these cards are coming in. Lightning Axe is bad. Cathartic Reunion is terrible against counter spells. So these are the cards I definitely want. Do I want to make room for Blood Moon? I almost feel like I don't. Like, a lot of their big plays aren't super impactful. No, I don't foresee unless WotC does From the Vault Splice onto Arcane, probably not. Yeah, I think it's just no Moon. I don't think I want Moons in this matchup, Shannon. I feel like I just want my pieces of interaction. Yeah, I don't think Blood Moon's that good here, because they have plenty of islands. All right, let's do it. Slow and steady, chat, slow and steady. So, this hand... What's going on, Magic Mormon? I think I'm going to keep this hand. They should have died bread. Sweet, Sinbred. Well, good luck in that. I think I want to keep this. I feel like I just want to hit land drops and when your opponent has counter spells, you want to be able to have cards to play through them, and this hand definitely lets us play through counter spells by hitting our land drops. Sweet. I will file a bug report for Magic Online then. I timed someone out for using the word cancer as a derogatory term. I think especially in relation to something as trivial as a children's card game, using a disease like cancer as a descriptor for a mechanic is really insensitive and kind of rude to people that have actually gone through things like that. Cancer is a very serious disease and in no way relatable to playing a children's card game or something that you feel is terrible or wronged you in a children's card game. You finished high school. That's a good step. Enjoy your summer. Hope you have good plans for the fall. I'm gonna go ahead and bin Griselbrand here. Again, this doesn't look like a looting effect, but when you're on the draw, it often is. Oh. Yeah, toxic. Toxic is a great, fairly neutral way to say something, like to imply what you're intending to imply without being rude to people. Look, the box says ages 13 plus. When I look at a 13-year-old, that's a child. Shit, when I look at most freshmen in college, I go, that's a child. Oh, you know what? My sequencing here was bad. I should have led Night's Whisper because it gave me a better chance to find things I actually want to discard. What was my final record with Amulet Titan? We finished 3-2. We conceded the last match to Turbo Blood Moon deck. No, you cannot. Get out of here. Don't bother with school. To be fair, I wouldn't be nearly as good as I am at playing Magic for people on the internet if I hadn't gone to school. So you could say that the part of the reason I have this job is because of the schooling that I did. Played your Planeswalker deck with a few changes. I went undefeated at a local tournament. Awesome. I'm glad you're enjoying it. Looked and act like middle schoolers. Yep. All right. I think I'm binning Borby here. We're definitely getting set up to breach here at some point, though, which is nice. Just our Goryo's Vengeances are just hiding out from us today in this match. Yeah, I'm actually in the market for that, right? So we'll keep that one. Just like in the market for a 2-mana duress. Bant Planeswalkers. We played Bant Super Friends a couple of times in the last week on stream. It's really sweet. We ended up pulling a 4-0 with it at one point. That makes Breaching Wurm a lot less good. That makes Breaching Wurm a lot less good. All right, well, while they're not actually killing us, I'm just going to wait here because I want to wait to play my discard spell until, like, the turn I'm going off or the turn before I'm going off, so that way I've given them the most chances to draw a counter spell. Or if I have to move to hand size, we'll just do this now. No, you cannot spell Snare a Shoal. So when a card, well then, yep, all right. When a card has X in its casting cost, that X, while it's on the stack, involves its converted mana cost. I'm gonna attack 10 times. Rats! We're so unlucky. Just the gosh darned unluckiest. They banned Field and Power Plant. I like it. Toolbox for a toolbox. Are they going to put a Chalice on 2 here? Tormod's Crypt. Sure. Yeah, that's pretty good. So here's hoping we draw Griselbrand next turn, chat. If we draw Griselbrand, they should die. So the way this works is we're going to Shoal, pitching Shoal, splice through the breach, slide this worm into play. And remember, because splice onto arcane is weird, this through the breach stays in my hand even though I get its effect here. So that means next turn, after they clear my tokens, I can breach this other Worldspine Wurm into play and kill them with that one, which is great. Nah, I'd much rather put them to 3 and make them blow this up. My opponent's hand is Island Academy runes right now, I believe. Maybe they played an Island. I wasn't paying close enough attention. There's a good chance that one of these islands is in play. So my opponent almost messed up the timing there. Opponent almost messed up the timing. No, Spell Queller cannot counter Shoal Pitching Worm. Your Shoal has a converted mana cost of 13 at that point. I think I just pass here, right? I don't want them to like have another O-Stone. If they cast another draw spell, oh, they're putting O-Stone back on top of their deck. That makes sense. Okay. So, if they don't have a counter spell in their hand, I'm gonna breach this Griselbrand at their end of turn, and then draw 14 cards, and hopefully, did I board out a Borborygmos? I did not board out Borborygmos. God bless us. Yeah, we need Borby. I'm through 2 shoals already, right? Which is kind of sad. So if they drew a counterspell in the in-between here, we could lose this for sure. They didn't, because we're the best. Holy dicks, chat. Holy that these mono blue Tron players, they're a tricky bunch. They're a very tricky bunch. These mono blue Tron players, let me tell you about these mono blue Tron players. They've got some tricks, chat. They've got some tricky poos. Some licky dicky tricky poos. All right, smash. Opponent cycled a Nimble Obstructionist for those that weren't following. All right, we're gonna go ahead and cast me a shoal. Hopefully they didn't find a counterspell there. Draw some cards in response here. Hey, there's Bobby. So they should be dead here. Is Bobby. Hey, diddle Bobby in the fiddle. He threw some lands at the moon. The lands fell down and knocked the moon around and said, hey, you did, nerd. You did. You did. Getcha. This has been a sweet set of Goryo's Vengeance games. This is, if you haven't watched this whole league and you like this deck, you should go back and watch the other matches in this league. They're very, very good. While waiting for the fourth match to pop, I'd just like to say good morning, afternoon, and good night to everybody over here in the world. Thanks for tuning in here. I know there's a lot of excellent people streaming on Twitch right now, so I appreciate you joining us this afternoon. Who am I? My name is Jeff Hoagland. I'm a full-time streamer and content producer here on Twitch. If you're enjoying my stuff, please consider subscribing to my channel. My subscribers are what keep me doing this here full-time like I do. If you're one of the many people out there who has Amazon Prime, if you link that to your account, it gives you Twitch Prime for free, and Twitch Prime gives you a free channel subscription every single month. You can also support my content by supporting my sponsors. InkedGaming.com would love to help you customize your gaming experience. Using code Jeff12, you can save 12% on custom playmats, mouse pads, binders, and bags with them. Cardsphere.com will love to help you turn your Magic cards into other Magic cards or cash directly with other players. There's no haggling, they just take a 1% fee off the top. And of course, this stream is made possible by viewers like Anaronix, Justin, Nivik, and you. If you are new and enjoying my content, be sure to check out my YouTube channel, youtube.com/Jeff Hoagland. All of my stuff gets archived there. So, for instance, if you like this deck and this is your first time watching us stream it here on my channel, there are lots of leagues with this deck on my channel. So be sure to check those out for sure. We got 2 more matches in this league, and then we're going to wrap today's stream up with some Hearthstone. Yeah. This is one of those decks where When people tell me Simian Spirit Guide, I'm gonna be a good boy and mulligan this hand. When people tell me Simian Spirit Guide is a fair card that should be legal in Modern, I'm always like, are you and I, are we talking about the same card? This is a much better linear deck than Elves. This is the most powerful, most consistent turn 2 linear deck in Modern. And as you can see from these games, in addition to having linear turn 2 kills where your opponent literally just can't do anything to interact with you, this deck also has a lot of very reasonable draws as the game goes along that give it a lot of play. Blue Marsh could be a couple of things. You'll note that I didn't play the Temple of Malice on one, and the reason for that was we scried this through the breach that I knew I wanted to the top of my deck. I'm gonna bottom this. I'd much rather dig for like Simian Spirit Guides and Desperate Rituals here, and while we could draw something like Griselbrand that would stunt us being able to put this through the breach into play, I think bottoming there is good. Why do so few people play it? So Living End? Looks like Living End, right? Sweet. There's a Desperate Ritual. Can't quite cast this yet, right? Nope. Breach Worm is not a particularly good plan against Living End because they can clean up after it. It does have a bad mill matchup. You're not wrong. Yes, this deck, it swings both ends of what I'm going to call the human spectrum. It wins really fucking hard, and when it loses, oh lordy, does it lose hard. Assume we're getting Stone Range here. Nope. Okay. Jumping off for the night, looking forward to it. Aggro Shift in the chats and Jun tomorrow. Sounds good, Wesselmos. Thank you for the support. Hope you have a good rest of your day. For those of you that are enjoying my Modern content, like I said, this is going to be my last Magic League for today, but I'm going to be live for 12 hours tomorrow, starting at 9 a.m. Central Standard Time tomorrow morning through 9 p.m. in the evening. We're going to be playing Modern all day. So the Worm plan is off the table here, but I've not conceded yet because we could draw Faithless Looting into Griselbrand and then flip it into play with this Goryo's Vengeance. I'm going to concede if they have a Violent Outburst, though, because we're just not going to be able to win at that point. Yeah, we're gonna play some Hearthstone next. We're gonna play some Hearthstone Standard. I've got four different Hearthstone donation deck lists in the queue for today. I don't think this matchup is bad for us by any stretch of the imagination. It's just our particular plan of breach worming that game is not good against them. I think this is a pretty easy swap. We trim a Worm, trim a Brutality, trim the Lightning Axe, bring in 3 Chalice. 9 a.m. Central Standard Time, which is 10 a.m. Eastern. I live on Cornfield time here in Central Illinois. This deck has a very bad Humans matchup. Humans dumpsters unfair combo decks like this, generally speaking. This deck has an okay burn matchup because you get to pitch Nourishing Shoal to gain 11. Yeah, I think we just want to go fast. I think when they combo, we also want to combo, basically. So we didn't really do anything that game, but if our opponent is someone who's played a lot of Modern, they're going to be aware of the fact that we're playing Grishoalbrand based on the fact that they saw Temple of Malice. So for those of you that are, if you're newer to Modern, Mike, our opponent's deck is a combo deck that cascades into a 0 mana spell. So we can put Chalice on 0 to stop them from cascading into Living End. You meant burn versus humans. Oh. No, I don't have any experience there. I'm gonna bin this. I'm gonna bin this. We do have to worry about, they didn't have Leyline of the Void. A lot of the time, Living End generally plays Leyline of the Void or Fairy Macabre as a way to interact with other decks that want to put creatures in their graveyard. If I have the ability to play around a Fairy Macabre, we will, but a lot of times we're just going to have to go for it. A lot of times it's just going to be us windmilling and hoping they don't have it. Again, one of the things that separates good Magic players from less good Magic players is you need to be able to identify in a given game of Magic what you can afford to play around and what you can't afford to play around. And there's going to be games with this deck where you can beat Graveyard Hate by using Through the Breach, but there's going to be other games where you just have to like hope they don't have the Graveyard Hate and you have to go for it. And just because you lose to the Graveyard Hate in those games doesn't mean going for it was wrong. It just means you made your opponent have it and they had it and you need to move on. That being said, my opponent's deck is very consistent because their combo consists of them drawing a lot of cards. So often they're going to have the cards they're looking for in the deck that my opponent's playing. We're digging vigorously for a Goryo's Vengeance here. Really want a Goryo's Vengeance. Goryo's Vengeance doesn't put Wurm into play. It's a very common misconception when people watch this deck for the first time. Goryo's Vengeance only puts legendary creatures into play. You can cast spells during the cleanup step if a trigger goes on the stack during the cleanup step. Breaching Wurm isn't good enough in this matchup. Oh, they're at 11. I lied. Breaching Wurm is fine. They've done infinite damage to themselves. We're gonna kill them. They could have Simian Spirit Guide Violent Outburst here, but I'm definitely making them have it in this position. So this deck is spliced onto Arcane Tribal, we like to make the joke. And one of the reasons for that is you get to use Nourishing Shoal as a ritual for Through the Breach, because for whatever reason, splicing Through the Breach costs 2 less mana than actually casting it. So when you splice it onto a free arcane spell, you just net a mana. So I can use Nourishing Shoal to allow me to Through the Breach for 4 mana here. That's fair. It feels like it should be legendary. I'd agree with that. 10 out of 10 agree with that assessment. So they don't have Simian Spirit Guide Violent Outburst. They lose. If they do, we're going to lose the game, and that's okay. Oh, wait. We don't lose the game. We have Griselbrand. I'm a liar. Oh, you know what? Maybe I should have pitched this to gain more health here. Because if they Violent Outburst, they need to have Simian Spirit Guide, Violent Outburst, and Fairy Macabre, so we don't get Griselbrand. This is fine, right? This is fine. Here we gotta alter them and like, but Judge, they have the legendary border. I don't understand. Can I put them into play? Yep, yeah, I agree, Marty. Which is, again, like, if they have those 3 things, it doesn't make going for it here wrong. It just means that they had the things they needed to not die. Making them have 3 specific things is very good for us. Correct, yeah. That's why I said they also need Fairy Macabre. So they need to have Violent Outburst, Breach here, which they don't. Sweet. All right. Have you heard about my worm? I said a worm. What worm's a word? I said a worm. Sweet. Sweet. Going to game 3 here. We're 3-0 in this league. Hopefully we can have a strong finish. This. You discard Worldspine Wurm. Worldspine Wurm has a trigger when it gets discarded. So this puts a trigger on the stack during the cleanup step when you move to hand size and bin it. I don't think Bontu's is good enough here. I think I'd rather just have Chalice or try and race them. I think Bontu's is really slow. Sand seems good. It technically has half our combo, and it stops their combo. If you don't mind dipping into Legacy really quick, what do you think is the best? It's Turbo Depths and it's not close. I think Turbo Depths is the best Depths deck in Legacy, and I don't think it's particularly close. I don't think Lands is a very good deck. Eddidizzle, thank you very much for the Twitch Prime support. I really appreciate that. As always, subscriptions are the best way you can support my content here, so thank you. Thank you for that. Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and looting. If we miss on the first one, that's not a big deal. Shoal plus Wurm is pretty good. So what I want to do here, I definitely think I'm binning this. I think I'm just going to bin this other Night's Whisper. Maybe I should hold on to the Night's Whisper just because I bricked on finding a creature. Hey, it's been too much. Chip, 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 chip. Thank you very much for the continued support. I do appreciate that. Welcome back. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Long time, first time, glad to subscribe. Well, thanks. I appreciate you choosing to subscribe here this month. What do we got? What do we got? Probably just whispering. Hey, that's a breach. And remember, the fact that we have the Chalice of the Void in play makes the Breach Wurm plan much better. So does Splicing Breach not get rid of the Breach in hand? No, it doesn't get rid of the Breach in hand. When you splice onto Arcane, you add the text of the card you're splicing onto the other card on the stack, and the cards you're splicing all stay in your hand. Splicing onto Arcane is actually one of the ways this deck can play through counter magic, because you can splice like through the breach onto a ritual that you don't care if it gets countered, and then they have to counter your ritual, and then you're like, all right, untap, cast breach again. Can you elaborate on lands not being a good deck in your opinion? I think once upon a time lands had a good matchup against 4-color control and Grixis Delver, and I think 4-color control and Grixis Delver are decks that have the tools to beat literally anything they want in Legacy, and once they realized that Lands was a deck they felt like beating, Lands no longer had a good matchup against those decks. Hey, Avian, thank you very much for the 2-month Twitch primary subscription. Welcome, welcome, welcome back. Been watching a long time. Thanks for the content. Thanks for the support. Jody Keefe doesn't play anymore. That alone also. Jody Keefe stopped playing Lands. The deck's probably not good. Is another Fulminator Mage? God, what a tilt. That's just savage. I appreciate the double cheer to prove the point. So, if we hadn't gotten Stone Rained again, we could have flashback looting to ditch the Griselbrand, but now we have to wait a turn. Bits where bits are due, thanks to the land destruction bit sack. I've not heard of Slow Daps. I don't know what that deck is. Don't discard Griselbrand. Maybe. It's going to depend on what else we draw. We are kind of getting in a position where we could play around Fairy Macabre. So if it's looking like we can play around Fairy Macabre, we will do so. It's going to depend on what cards. Well, now we're just going to play around Fairy Macabre by doing this. Well, this is great. Have I told you how much I love playing Splice onto Arcane Tribal, chat? It's quite good. It's quite good. Ip, cheerio, mate. Ip, cheerio, mate. You old 3 mana, floop this little piggy into play. Look at how cute he is. Right you are. Who's adorable? Griselbrand's adorable. Yes, he is. All right. Yeah, good Griselbrand. Good little Griselbrand. Who's a good little demon? Yes, you are. All right. What are we doing? We're drawing some cards. I've got 1 Spirit Guide. I've already played a land for the turn. I'm through 1 SSG. Floop the piggy. They could have a Beast Within here. They play that card sometimes. All right, so we can just put Borborygmos into play right now, right? So we'll cast this, exiling this, and then I hit 2 Spirit Guides so I can splice a Desperate Ritual onto this Nourishing Shoal. So this is going to put me up to 3 mana. And then this Ritual will put me to 4. This Ritual will put me to 5. And then we'll cast Through the Breach, and we'll put this other little piggy into play. And then the little piggies will go wee, wee, Kiwi all the way home. Say hello to my little friends. This deck's sweet. This deck is such a hoot. Welcome to Thunderdome, opponent. Population U. Splice the babysitter onto the breach. The babysitter's actually done. She went home from the summer. She was a college student here in town, so the kids are actually in daycare now. Boop. Boop it right on the nose. Got him. Got him. All right. Look at that. 4-0. One more match with Griselbrand, and then we're going to wrap the day up with some Hearthstone. This is really weird. Modern decks don't get more than 3 wins. This is strange. All right, I'm gonna stand up for the last one. Get charged up, get amped up, enjoy the ride, chat. Enjoy the ride. Did you see my dad bod physique here on camera? I believe in me too, Shiny Duck. Is the overview at the end of the deck gonna be this deck sweet, great play? Yes, it is actually. 10 out of 10 is. We've played a Grixis version of this deck before. I believe the Grixis version is much worse. I believe the splash doesn't really add any value to you. Night's Whisper and Faithless Looting and Cathartic Reunion are plenty of card selection, and people really undervalue having good mana in Modern. So check my YouTube channel. I believe I called it Grishoalbrand or something like that. There's a Griselbrand video on my YouTube channel. You can watch me play it and see why it feels clunky and bad. Put me back down. The biggest thing is, and we talk about this pretty constantly when we're tuning decks on this stream, adding blue to this deck doesn't solve problems that this deck has. When you're making changes to especially an established archetype, you should only make changes with the goal of fixing a problem the deck has, and adding cantrips doesn't help this deck. This deck doesn't have an issue with drawing lots of cards. Ley lines and start of the game effects currently have a chance to hard lock your Magic Online match. This hand is so close. It's so close. It's got discard outlet, Griselbrand, Goryo. It doesn't have a red source. We're on the play. We're on the play. So, like, we don't discard till 2, which means we don't combo till 4. Yeah, I think our average 6 is better. Yeah, I have stopped playing Hex. This hand's okay. Not amazing, but fine. Night's Whisper again helps us on mulligan, which is nice. What's going on, Nivik? You can't lose to a Baldur 60. That's true. That's true. How important are Blood Moons in the side? The Blood Moons and the Chalices help you beat up on particular decks, but obviously if you just want to lean into your main deck linear plan, you could do that. I'm gonna bottom this, I think. Am I? No, I'm a liar. I'm gonna top that. Basic Plains? Basic Plains? Opponent, are you aware that you could be Griselbranding people in this format, yet you've chosen to register the magic card Basic Plains? I'm not quite sure if you're aware of the gravity of the situation that you're currently experiencing. Why am I a liar, gaming? Why am I a liar? I am a little bit late for starting Hearthstone, if that's what you're referring to, but we're going to do 4 donation decks today, for sure. I'm gonna go ahead and just kill this so they can't wasteland me. I'm gonna top this because in the event they have a 3-mana, they have a Thalia, I'm gonna want that. Oh, oh, they could have Path to Exile. YOLO Worm. YOLO Worm. YOLO! Aw, man. Why do you hate fun, opponent? Why do you hate fun? Again, I think going for it there is correct. I don't think the fact that my opponent had a Path to Exile makes pulling the trigger on that turn any less correct. I think we're supposed to make them have it there because they would lose the game if they didn't. And like, we could just draw Faithless Looting into a fatty and then Goryo's Vengeance that piggy into play. Hey, Double N, thank you very much for the Twitch Prime support. I do appreciate that. Griselbrand. Gosh, we're so unlucky, chat. Just the gosh darned unluckiest. We've played Narset Cannon on stream multiple times. You should check out my YouTube channel, youtube.com/Jeff Hoagland. Find all the replays there. Do you have a favorite artist or favorite artwork? I don't know. I like Steve Argyle's stuff. Probably Steve Argyle if I had the name of Magic artist. All right, we get 3 shots at a Griselbrand. 3 shots at a Griselbrand. That's 1 brick. All right, 2 more shots. Survey says. Ayo, da 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 da. And this little piggy went wee 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 all the way home. I'm gonna attack first here because if they have a second path, this encourages them to act first with the path, which if they act first, I could draw a worm here. So yeah, so if I would have drawn proactively here, they'd path me in response. And now I can draw a worm with this draw 7 and continue drawing. We didn't draw a worm, but we did hit Borborygmos. So it kind of sucks to lose Borby, but I do get to draw again here. And now I have 2 shoals. So you can see here, my sequencing by attacking first allowed me to draw these cards when normally I wouldn't have. So your sequencing is very important in a deck like this. I have another Borby in my deck, right? So I'm gonna go ahead and splice this Desperate Ritual onto this next one. Cast, splice additional spells. I'm gonna exile this. I'm gonna go ahead and cast this Desperate Ritual, pitching this Mana Monkey and this Mana Monkey. Hit okay. So we go up to 17 here. We get to draw 14 more. We need Borborygmos to not be in the bottom cards of our deck. Sweet. All right. So now we go ahead and we cast. Do I have another one yet? Do I have another Desperate Ritual? I don't have another Desperate Ritual. Let's take another hit here. There's the other Desperate Ritual. So we get to go cast my Desperate Ritual, cast my Desperate Ritual, cast through the breach, put Borborygmos into play. Borby! Shoot you. Shoot you. Shoot you. Shoot you. Sweet. Sweet. Remember that time they had the basic planes, they had the paths, they didn't die, and then they still lost the game? God bless us. God bless us, everyone. This has just been an A+ set of games for this deck. Just A+ set of games. All right, so definitely in for Brutality. Definitely in for Bontus. I'm pretty sure we're supposed to board out of Wurm because breaching a Wurm isn't a very good game plan in this matchup. Same thing with the Through the Breach in general. Instant speed 20 them. Yep. Yep. I'm going to board out a Desperate Ritual because they're a Thalia deck. Need one more cut here. I don't think I can cut Borby when I'm already trimming a Worldspine Wurm. I think that's bad. I can trim a Cathartic Reunion, I suppose. I'm boarding up a Collective Brutality, which is a way to get things into the discard pile, so trimming a Cathartic Reunion seems fine. Okay, so here's the thing about this deck. Someone asked why I don't consider this deck for the open. The games you lose with this deck swing entirely opposite on the pendulum. So the games you lose with this deck, you lose as hard as you're winning a lot of the time. So like all of your wins are insane because basically to win this deck, you have to draw your entire deck. But the games you lose, you just basically don't do anything. So the Manamorphose is important to leave in because occasionally you need Manamorphose on your combo turn to ritual out of Goryo's Vengeance to get Borborygmos into play. So I don't think you should cut the Manamorphose. I don't think you should cut the Manamorphose. Your losses are Goldfish flops. Yep. 10 out of 10 agree. I thought this deck was in. This deck did, and like this deck is powerful. And if you run good and play well, you can do well. This 75 is actually straight from a Grand Prix top 8. So you can, and people have done well with it. I just, if I'm going to travel to play a tournament, I want to play something that. There's so many spirit guides. What do you think are the proper changes to that list now? I don't know offhand. So my article going up on Gathering Magic tomorrow is actually going to be talking about why I think the green-black rock deck is better than Jund and Abzan currently. And I fully believe that. I don't think Jund and Abzan are worth the splash currently. So I'm going to play Bloodstained Mire on 1 because they're a Cat Jesus deck. Maybe Sinbred, maybe, I don't know, like the floor on Manamorphose is pretty high just because you get to cycle it. We did win game 1. We did win game 1. So now that I have 2 lands, I can pay for Cat Jesus. I'm going to top that here because that can help propel me into a 4th land so we can cast Bontu for 4 through this Thalia. I think straight green-black is better than Jund currently, yes. In my testing and experience in the format, that's what the results have led me to believe. That's Cat Jesus. This deck runs Scrylands because they provide you card selection. It's unfortunate that that happened. We need to hit an untapped land next turn to play this Bontus. Sure. We really don't want to play it. When we play a 4th land, they're going to get to double tech edge us, but like at the same time, they don't have a whole lot else going on, so I still want to hit this 4th land here pretty badly. I don't want to play the 4th land if it's a tapped land, though, because then they'll be able to double tech edge me before I use the mana. If they have a 3-drop to put into play here, are they going to flick one of my lands here? Flicking one of my lands would be really good. Probably a concession good, right? My article on gatheringmagic.com tomorrow will talk about the differences between green, black, and Jund. This is a Flicker Wisp. Yep. So I'm taking 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 here, going to 3. So I'm gonna go ahead and cast Faithless Looting. Again, I'm not gonna play this land out because what's the word I'm searching for? I'm not playing the land out because I want to be able to not get double tech edge next turn. So I'm intentionally not putting this 4th land into play because my opponent has tech edge out. I don't think that's a ghost. I think that's just a good line. So if they have another 3-power 3-drop here, they get us. They have another Flicker Wisp. Obviously, they just run back the same line and then we die. Holy crap, they didn't wasteland us. Holy crap, they didn't wasteland us. Fair. All right, let's see if we can get the 5-0 or not here. Heidi-ho, and off we go. Bloodbraid Elf isn't being replaced in green-black by removal. If you can't look at the green-black list and the Jund list and draw comparisons yourselves, you should wait till tomorrow and read my article on gatheringmagic.com. I worked real hard on it. If you'd like a preview of that article, it's posted in my subs Discord server. It lacks formatting, but the glut of the text is there in the article preview. Who thinks we should go for the turn 1 kill? Oh, I boarded out the Desperate Ritual, which means we can't, right? We actually can't without the Desperate Ritual, right? Because we can only get... Well, I suppose we could splice it. Fine, let's go. Ah, we're so unlucky. Why are we so unlucky, chat? Why? Why so unlucky? Oh no. Oh no. God, that's so bad. All right, I'm done. All right, 4-1. Not the worst. Not the worst. That's a wrap. I think this deck is great. I think this build is great. We've been playing the same 75, the top 8 at the Grand Prix for forever. I don't think I'd really have any changes. I think if you're looking for a sweet all-in combo deck, this is a great one to play. This is a great one to play. For those that don't understand what just happened there, we were looking for a what's it called? We were looking for a what's it toy. We're looking for a Griselbrand to kill them. Worm is not a legend. For people that are wondering why I didn't Goryo's Vengeance the Worm into play, because people always wonder that. So that is why that happened. All right, let's play a video game for the last couple hours today, shall we?